Alrighty guys, so I just wanted to do a bit of a talk about, well, basically, I wouldn't say a review, but just some basics on spray respirators and kits. Like if you're going to do any sort of painting, especially 2-pack, obviously get one. And I'll just talk about a few things that I've learned over time and whatever that mightn't be common knowledge, if you know what I mean. Unless you're getting good instructions when you're buying one. But make sure you get one that fits you properly, because it's pretty important with 2-pack. That shit's not good for you. You know, the carcinogenics and stuff in it will screw you up if you're not careful. This is the Moldex one, the 7000 series, and this is a medium on me. You know, they make them in different sizes. Try, if you can, try a couple on when you get them, you know, just to make sure it fits properly and you get a good seal out of it, around your face and stuff. Now these filters, when you've got them on your mask or whatever, do not leave them out in the open, because by the time you go to use them the next time, they will not work and all that shit will go into you. It's bad enough it's probably going in through your skin, but when you're breathing it in through your mouth and your nose, that shit will fuck you up. So what happens, what they recommend for these things, if you don't know, is, well, over here in New Zealand anyway, they force them, the sellers of these, to put them in boxes, from what I understand. So basically when you get them, you take them off your mask or whatever, you put you, especially these, because what happens is they keep cleaning the air that's around them. So if you put them back in the box, once they clean the air that's in that box, they can't clean anymore, and then they, you know, they're fine. But what happens is they only got I'm not sure what the shelf life is on these. No, for working shelf life, if you know what I mean. It's hours. Like, can't remember how many. It's not a lot. I think it's, you know, it's like, oh, don't quote me on this, but it's something like sort of 8 or 10 or something like that. I need to actually I need to look back into it myself and just try and find out. I have got some paperwork here, but I haven't. It's going to take me, you know, like freaking half an hour to read through it. I had a bit of a look before just to try and see if I could work out where it said. Because the guy told me when I bought this kit here back in like 2015 or 16, whatever it was, I've had it this long, he said, yeah, these filters, yeah, have only got a short shelf life, and once you've sort of done a paint job sort of thing, you know, you might have sprayed your primers on and then your paint, yeah, basically after that they're useless. So you don't do any more than one paint job sort of type with them, because, you know, by the time you've obviously done your body work and whatever, and you've put your primer on, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times or whatever, and then you know, obviously your top coat and your clear coat or whatever, different layers, these will be no good. You would have got all the shit through them and whatever. He said, if you can smell, if you've got this mask on and you can smell the paint through them, you've had them all way too long. So yeah, but what I do is the ones I've taken off, after I've used them spraying, I just use them for dirty work. So every time I change and put a fresh set of filters on for spraying, I will use the old ones for dirty work, and basically I'll just leave them on put them on the mask. They're going to try and clean air, but like when you're breathing dust and shit, and like they're going to work fine for that for a while. That's basically what I do every time I've done another spray job or whatever. You know, I'll leave the old ones on here and got a fresh set in a bag here somewhere. So you get a fresh set in the bag. Make sure that the bag is sealed before you open it up. Make sure that it is actually properly sealed and hasn't got a hole in it, because they'll be no good. So yeah, like it's quite an important, I think, the 2-pack paint and other stuff is not good for you. If you're spraying probably water based or something like that, I don't know, it's probably not, I'm guessing it's not as bad for you as, you know, as what 2-pack paint is, or even anything, any other paint. But yeah, always keep your filters in a box or a Ziploc bag or something like that that's sealed and hasn't got a hole in it. You know, ideally keep your mask in there too, but I'm using this a lot at the moment for sanding, so I just use my old filters and leave them on it. And when I go to spray, I just swap the filters over it. They normally have like a little plastic cup on the front of them with like a little white filter. I haven't actually got any white filters left, I don't think. Here, to show you. No, I haven't got any here. I'll put one off. One of these ones. Because I actually left these out the last time I sprayed when I did that last lot of primer on this car. I mistakenly left this on the bench and didn't pull the filters off, which was dumb. So these are no good now. So I really need to change them. But these covers come off, and they've got like a little filter in there as well, which is obviously like the. So then these only go on want these things one way. So you like change these two obviously every now and again. But I normally just, if I change a set of filters, I normally use these a couple of times and put them on, as long as they're not obviously really filled up full of shit and really, really dirty, give them a blowout or whatever. But yeah, I just normally, the ones I've changed, I leave this shit off, just use it for dusty work, and then throw that crap back on the new one, if you know what I mean. That's what I'll do as well. I'm thinking about it. Put a set of those in there, so we're in there for when I want them next. Because I'm going to do a little bit of sanding. I'm going to do wet sanding, so I won't have to wear a mask really. It's just when you're dry sanding, you're making a lot of dust, especially with that DA or something like these are great. You know, it just keeps the crap out of your lungs. It doesn't do you any good either, but you're not having to worry about the chemicals in it. It's just the dust. So that's the thing I can say. And my personal preference, I know the 3M masks are virtually identical. Obviously, pretty sure you can't change the filters, but for the 3M masks that I've worked with, this sort of style, I actually prefer this clip than the 3M. I've used the 3M as well. At other jobs, one reasonably recently, like within the last 12 months, before I started doing this full time. But yeah, I didn't like the clip as much, or I couldn't, when you got it over your head. I couldn't get the, I couldn't get the clip on as easy. I was always fumbling around with it. I just clip it on, clip it off. Whereas that, I found I was, trying to, piss around for, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 seconds, trying to get it on. It's no biggie, but I just found that this clip was just easier to use. It was more simple. Whereas I don't know what it was with the other one. It's a similar sort of design, but it's just, I don't know, you seem to be fluffing around with it and you get it to lock in. Whereas that just sort of, as long as you get it one over the other, it just locks in and just away you go. But, so yeah, that's just my, I guess, my rundown on using and what to buy. Make sure you get the right filters. There's heaps of different filters. So when you go buy one of these kits, make sure you ask for one that you say you're spraying, like car paint, 2-pack paint. Just don't go in there and grab one, because if you don't, like when I bought these kits, they had a whole heap of them, and they were all for different things. Ones were for dust, ones for this and that and whatever. And so you make sure you get the right kit with the right filters. So then when you go to get the filters the next time, and you take your old filter in or whatever, you're getting the right one, because there's nothing worse than, you think you've got the right thing and then you're spraying and that shit's going into your lungs, because obviously the different filters won't stop different things, if you know what I mean. So these are obviously designed to keep the carcinogenics that's in the 2-pack paints out of your lungs. it's like it's the hardeners and stuff like that goes into those paints that really frickin' screws you up. So yeah, and if I can find out what the info was before I put this video up on the time frame these are roughly amount to last, I think from memory it's like 8 hours, I think, sort of maximum, but I can't remember. That's just from what I sort of remember. So by the time you've done, you know, most of the times when I'm doing spraying a lot of primer and whatever, like I might be, you know, you could be having that on and breathing through it for, you know, like a good hour or more, 2 hours, you know. So by the time you've done, you know, 2 or 3 loads of primer and a top coat, and that's those filters buggered, you know, if that's what it is. I'll need to double check that. But I've got it stuck in my head that's about that sort of time frame. That's sort of what I work on. So like, at least, even if I am going too long, like I'm not going horrendously over, if you know what I mean. It's not like 20 hours or 40 hours or something like that. It's like 8, you know, sort of 8, somewhere around that sort of figure. I need to do some research. I'll do some research in a minute and just, I'll try and even come back and just see if I can work it out, because it is a fairly important thing. And they do, a lot of time they come with wipes too, give them a good clean out every now and again, you know, wipe out, wash out, whatever, this mask, just so it's not full of dirt and gunge and all your saliva and frickin' whatever else, because they obviously will collect bacteria. I try to give it a clean out every now and again, or a wipe out and a wash out. I do, I think I've got some wipes in here, still left. Yeah, I've got a little bag of wipes in there, there's like a couple left. I probably actually should give them another one. So yeah, either that or just, you know, get some sort of sanitary wipes and have them handy. You know, especially if they're in those little sachets, you can keep, you know, a few lots of them in there, and every now and again just give your mask a good clean up. Yeah, don't try and keep it out of the dirt and shit, because there's nothing worse, you know. But yeah, use your old filters for dirty work, and keep your ones for spraying in the box, or keep your whole mask in the box, you know. But yeah, remember that, because it's vitally important, because if you happen to leave these on, say the bench for 2 or 3 days and they come back, put it on and spray, guarantee that shit's going into you. Right, I had a good look online. I can't really find the right info. It's just screeds of crap. Just, you know, it's really, really hard to find. I typed in, you know, the working life of the particular filter of that Moldex brand and whatever, like, and it just comes up with all this generic shit for everything. You know, don't use anything that's past its use by date on the frickin' tag and all that sort of bullshit. You know, like, it's not what we want to know. Like, it's how long, if I put the new set of filters on my mask, you know, how long can I spray paint for, or, you know, go out and spray weeds, you know, and all that sort of stuff if you get a respirator on, or whatever you're doing. You know, you want an idea of, okay, if you're using this particular filter for this rough use, spraying cars, you know, with paint or whatever, you know, these will last X amount of hours, minutes, weeks, months, whatever, you know. So I actually just talked to Arco over at Outlaw Ridge, Minnesota Outlaw Customs. And he was saying that he does about 2 paint jobs, so around that 20 hour sort of mark, which is probably not a bad rule of thumb. So I reckon if you're, and he's using 3M, I know that for a fact, he's using a 3M mask. So the difference between the 3M and the Moldex, it could be some variance, but I can imagine that the filters are going to be a similar sort of thing, and they're probably going to have a similar sort of shelf life. So do some research before you buy them, find out, talk to some people, and if they don't know, get them to find out and just say, look, get on the phone, ring this manufacturer and go, look, this person's buying these to spray masks to do painting or whatever you're going to be doing, and go, look, how long, if this guy puts these new filters on and he goes there and sprays 20 freaking cars, and he's got 10 cars to do, and that's going to take him, I don't know, say 4 days to paint. You know, how long are these filters going to last? By the time he gets to the end of the 10th one, is he still going to be safe, or after 5 cars does he need to change a set of filters? You know, just, you know, we'll say 25 hours. It's taking you 25 hours to paint 5 cars. You know, say if you're just doing top coat or something like that, you know, and in clear or whatever, you know, it takes 25 hours. You know, is he going to be still safe at 25 hours with these filters on, or does he need to change them at 10 hours, or does he need to change them at 20 hours, or shit? You know, he can freaking paint, you know, for 100 hours with these filters. You know, whatever. You know, every brand's different. There's probably more than just 3M and Moldex out there. I don't know. That's just the ones that I really know of. But yeah, do some research, find out. I'm sort of thinking, yeah, probably somewhere around that sort of probably 10 to 20 hour mark would be a pretty safe bet. So if you think, okay, should I spray 2 cars or 3 cars with this? Yeah, change filters, throw them away, get a new set for painting. Use the old ones for dirt and dust and shit like that, as long as you're not using chemicals, I guess. Now, if you're using chemicals, use your good ones. You know, especially if you're using paint stripper and frickin' whatever else like that, you know, that's, some of the fumes and that shit's frickin' not good either. Put your good filters on. But if you're just doing dirty work, dusty work, blowing crap out of your workshop, whatever, throw a set of old filters on, you know, your last set of painting ones, and do that, and then if you go back to spraying, change your filters over, and away you go again. So yeah, I try to get the double life out of them, you know. Use one for, and you obviously the chemicals, and then, like I've said, you know, put your older ones on that you've just changed for dirty work, and then when you change them out again, you know, it keeps both lots fairly fresh, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to carry on here, wet sanding this ship down, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. You know, I'm going to try and do a bit more tips and how-tos and whatever, and tool reviews and just things like that. That seems to be a bit of a, some of those sorts of videos do better than me, just the working videos, but I'm still going to do them. Like, you know, that's what I'm doing all the day. You know, if I'm doing body work and whatever, I'm going to film that, but in amongst it, I'm going to film some other little clips to put together that hopefully won't be too long, and throw them up. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and yeah, the list of friends that I'll get down and below, go check some of their channels out too. That's in the description. Alright, cheers, thanks.